Hey everybody, Ryan here at etrailer. Today we're going to be checking out the Wesbar LED trailer utility light. Now having a light like this is super convenient. Whenever you need it, you'll have it laying around. And what's great about it is there's just a ton of different uses for it, There's a million different scenarios where this can really come in handy. And as long as you have a 12-volt power supply, you're going to be able to turn it off and on whenever you need it. So with this light being LED, it's not going to draw a whole lot of power from your 12-volt power source, and it's going to be really bright. LEDs are really popular now, and everyone wants them, including myself. And so that's really nice that we have that feature. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and kind of run through some of the scenarios that I can think of that I would personally use this light in. Right off the top of my head, I know light bars are becoming really popular, especially on these work trucks and things like that. Well, on the same note, that's not everyone's style. Some people don't want to, permanently mount up a light bar on the front of their truck. And this can kind of solve that problem. If you need a little bit of extra light, you got it, but you can remove it very easily. So just to kind of give you an example of that, since it is corded and the base is magnetic, it will actually attach, to the body of your vehicle, as long as it's steel, of course. So in our case, we have a sunroof. You can open that up, take the light, position it how you want it on your roof, turn it on, and give you that extra light that you need. If you don't have a sunroof, what you could always do is just crack your window, do it that way, and obviously you want to make sure the cord is not in your way when you're driving, especially, and get the job done that way too. So with that magnetic base, you have a ton of different options on where and how you can attach it. Obviously with a light, big question is how bright actually is it? And this has a rating of 650 lumens, so pretty impressive for a relatively small light. And so we figured we'd kind of test it out. So have my light on and the overhead lights on here in the shop. It's nice and bright, and I'm just shining it at the garage door. You can see there, even with the overhead lights on, this is still easily noticeable. So it is throwing off quite a bit of light, but chances are good you're not going to use it in the daytime. So let's go ahead, kill the overhead lights, and check it out. So now with the lights off, actually I'm pretty impressed on how bright this thing really is. Really does throw off some light. Just to kind of give you a perspective, if I turn the light towards me, you can see it's pretty black in here, pretty much pitch black. And this does a great job. Essentially, we're almost lighting up the whole room. So pretty impressive for a small light. One thing I am actually pretty impressed with is the magnetic base that comes on the bottom of the light. This thing's got some weight to it and is really strong, actually. I mean, when you go to stick it to the metal, it's a powerful magnet. It barely moves, and it takes some force to pull that thing off. I'd feel comfortable traveling at high speeds with this attached to my vehicle if I had to, or even let's say put it on a side-by-side or a boat or something like that, and you're hitting some rough waves or going off-road, things like that. I really don't see this thing bouncing around and coming off. So pretty strong little magnet. On the bottom of it, there is a protective label here, that way you don't have to worry about scratching up your paint and things like that. And even if you don't have anything magnetic per se, let's just say maybe you need a light on your bench or whatever the case may be, you can set this thing down, and with that weight, it's going to stay put. It's not going to tip over on you real easy or anything like that. So a ton of different uses and a truly versatile light, in my opinion. So the light itself is submersible. With that being said, would I drop this underwater deliberately? Probably not. But if you do have it, maybe on your tractor or UTV or even on your vehicle and get hung up in a rainstorm or something like that, I'd want it sweated. Not going to have to worry about it breaking on you. The housing is actually aluminum, and it's pretty thick, believe it or not. So we're not going to have to worry about it rusting. And for whatever reason, if it did come off or you drop it or anything like that, you know, the housing isn't just going to break. You know, this thing's pretty tough, actually. The lens is plastic, but it's kind of recessed back there a little bit. It has this hood on it. I feel like that'll kind of keep it protected if you were to drop it or anything. And something I do want to mention is the cord and the overall length of the cord. Okay, so it's coiled, so it's not going to be crazy long when it's in this position. However, if you were to stretch it completely out as far as it could go, it's going to measure 19 feet. With that being said, I was kind of doing it myself, and I got to a point where I really wasn't comfortable stretching it out more. I felt like any more tension on it would almost, you know, pull the wire out of the back of the light or something like that. I just didn't have a great feeling about it. Obviously, you guys can do what you choose, but I had it at about 12 foot, and that was about the maximum length that I was comfortable with and that I personally would be willing to go. I do just want to give a solution to those of you that need to bring your light further than the cord will stretch. And that solution is to use an extension cord. And we actually sell a couple of them here at etrailer. One of them just plugs into the 12-volt power source, and on the other end of it, you can plug your light right in. There's also another one that actually breaks off into two outlets, if that makes sense. So one end of that cord will plug into your power source, and then two cords come off of it with two different sockets. So for whatever reason, if you needed to use two lights, that would be a quick and easy way to allow you to do that. So if you do check out the end of the light here where the 12-volt connector is, I feel like it's pretty well made. I'm sure we've all kind of picked up accessories like this and felt the ends of them, and some of them just feel super cheap, like super lightweight, and almost if you plug it in, it's going to break. And that's really not the case with this one. It feels like it's made pretty well. Everything's tight. You know, this metal portion here is spring-loaded, as well as these sides, and they come back out nice and tight, so really shouldn't wear this out, I want to feel like, over time. You know, with these things, if you put them in and take them out and in and out, with the cheap ones, they end up getting real loose and sloppy, but everything feels pretty well made. So when you do go to plug it in to your outlet, it has a good seat to it, and this is how you control the light. So it's just a little toggle switch, and when you turn it on, you know, the green light is going to illuminate, and your light's going to turn on. So really doesn't get much more simple than that. Kind of another example on how you can use this is with the jump box. You know, the majority of these things have a outlet that you can plug into, and if you do that, essentially you'll have a portable light. So a lot of times, if you got a jump box, you're having car troubles, you don't have to deal with two separate things. Or what I can think of, let's say maybe, you know, it's nighttime, maybe you're working in the woods, gathering firewood, whatever the case may be, and you don't want to bring your bike or your side-by-side down there and wear out the batteries, keeping all the lights on. You throw this in the back, take this with you, wear it on your jump box, and not burn out your bike's battery. Not a big deal if it happens to the jump box. That's what it's meant for. You plug it back in and charge it. So just really convenient, and just one more way that, you know, you could use the light. Something else that you can use this for is really cool, but you are going to have to pick up a 7-way to 12-volt adapter plug. And if you use this, you can plug this into your 7-way and have a power supply right here at the back of your truck. And you're going to actually have two ports there, so you could use this for two lights if you wanted to. But the reason I say this is I'm sure many of you have tried backing up to a trailer at nighttime, and even on newer vehicles that have these backup cameras and bright reverse lights, they only do so much. You know, sometimes it just don't cut it. And so by using this combination here, you're definitely going to be able to see what you're doing. You know, you can stick this to your bumper or wherever really, and it's going to light things up. Not to mention with this adapter, you can use two and cover both sides if you need to. One of the things that I can think of that I would probably personally use this for, I'm actually thinking about grabbing one just to use it for this, is launching a boat. at nighttime. You go out fishing a lot, on the water. A lot of times it's really dark and it makes things difficult. I feel like this would really help out a lot with that. And not to mention too, personally I would kind of get 2 for 1 out of it. I know a lot of boats have a 12-volt outlet. So when I'm done doing it at the ramp, I can unplug this, take it with me, and if I need a little extra light to see where I'm going on the river, I'll just plug this right in. You can hold it with your hand, have your friend hold it. If there's any metal in the boat, stick it to it. So you kind of get 2 birds with 1 stone there, and really helps make life a little bit easier. So generally speaking, you're going to be able to take this light and pretty much plug it into any type of vehicle, whether it be a truck, car, camper, motorhome, whatever the case may be, because they're going to be equipped with that 12-volt outlet. But on the other hand, some of these other types of machines may not have a 12-volt outlet kit, but do have a 12-volt, battery system and charging system. Maybe some type of off-road machines, tractors, and things like that. So a solution that you can use to give yourself a way to plug a light in those circumstances is you can pick up a kit that we offer here that you wire up, and it gives you that 12-volt power supply. So it's super simple, pretty much goes right to the battery, really not a whole lot to it. And if it were me, we also sell kits that not only give you that 12-volt outlet kit, but also has some USB ports too. If you're going to go through the trouble to hook it up and something like that be beneficial to you, you kind of get 2 things. You could use your light and charge your phones or whatever the case may be. So at the end of the day, a super handy light that you could use for just about anything.